Hey, this is Oliver and welcome to our new tutorial. We will do some Stranger Things title animation. This is what we will create today. We will showcase you how to do these Stranger Things title animation. And because we have some strange times right now, this virus everybody's talking about is going around the globe, anybody's sitting at home, and so this is why we decided to come up with some new funny stuff which is easy to recreate. And the first thing you need is the Stranger Things font, and you can find that on farmfonts.com/strangerthings, or simply go to Google and Google for Stranger Things font and you will find that. It's a free font, you can download that and install that, and then you're ready to go. So let's jump in, and first we need a new composition. So new composition, make it HD or whatever size you like, and give it 10 seconds, a black background, and in our case we have 25 frames a second, and hit OK. So the first thing is we need the text. So if you have installed the Stranger Things font, you go to the text tool and type in Stranger. And as you see, we already have only the borders of the text, and you can achieve that. For example, if you have it looks like this, you have this character field here, and you have this is the fill color and this is the border color or the outline color, and you simply click on this little no fill switch and you have only the outline of your text, and you can change the border, the stroke size here on this. In our case we need it to 1 pixel, which is fine. And the next thing is we have to arrange the text according to our Stranger Things titles. This is how it looks like originally, and so you see the S and the R are bigger than the rest, and so we achieve that. Simply select the S and bring the size of the text up here. We bring it to 250, and this depends on your settings, of course, the size, and again 250, and that's it so far. The next is we have to bring all the rest of the letters to the top of the two big letters. So for that you have this little adjustments here. Set the baseline shift, and so we shift the baseline up so that it fits to the top of our big letters, to the S and the R. And so that's it for the first thing. Next is I like to align these. So I go to the Align tools and align that to the center of the screen by clicking this here. And the next is we'd like to animate these letters so that it looks like this here. So the letters coming and move in until they sit in place. So for that, go to the text layer, open the transform, and go to animate. You have this little arrow here, and click on that, and we need to use the position. And this brings up a range selector and the position offset. So here you have the position for up and down, and this is the position for left and right. We only like to animate the position up and down, so bring it to a value like 50 or something like that. And then we go to the range selector. So this is the selector, and you have an offset. It starts by the beginning of the word, which is 0%, 0%, and goes up to the end, which is 100%. And if you scrub the offset, you will see each letter starts to move, and each letter starts to move, and the next one starts if the first letter or the letter before stays in place. So this is not really what we like. For that we have the advanced settings. We bring that up, and here you have the shape mode, and we change that from square to ramp up. And what this does is it moves all letters to the same time, and they start as the operator offset goes from left to right. Okay, so this is exactly what we like to have, but we'd like to have them a little bit random. So for that, randomize order on, and if you scrub through the offset, you will see it makes all of these random. Okay, So the next thing is we'd like to come the type from top to the bottom. So right now, if we go from 80% down to 100, it moves upwards. So we'd like to move it downwards. So for that, we have to change the position from 50 to, let's say, -80. And please be sure that the settings fits to your project. So now, if we go from 0 to 100%, all the letters coming down to the line where they should be. Okay, so we'd like to start not from 0%, but from, let's say, about 40. So some of the letters are still in place, and the rest is coming over time to the final position. Okay. If you have issues regarding the distance between the single letters, let's go to 100% and select all of your text layers, and in your text layers rollout, there you have this little tracking for the characters, and you can play with the settings and control the spacing between these single letters in your word. So you can play this and put them together. Okay, and let's go back to the animation. Let's animate that over time. We start on an offset with 40%, and we click the stopwatch, and we go up to 4 seconds and bring this up to 100%. So this is the animation so far. Okay. We'd like to have some ease there, and here you have some values, ease high, ease low, and we bring both up to 50%. So we have a little ease going on. Okay, so they coming and touching smooth to the place where they should stay. Okay, so this is the stranger. Now we need the things. For that, we need a new text layer, and we type in things. Okay, then we have to arrange that. I align that to the center again. Go up to 4 seconds so we see the final result. And as we see, this looks a little bit different. As you see, they put the word stranger just more together. So this is something we don't cover in this tutorial because it's just about the thing, how to animate that. So we leave it as it is, and we animate the things, of course, too. So go to the things layer. I go to the text, to the transform, sorry, click the animate button and go to position. And the same procedure as by stranger, we bring the position down. Let's check the offset. Here we go. Let's start at 40%. Go to frame 0, hit stopwatch. Go back to 4 seconds, crank it up to 100%. And the next is we go to the advanced settings. Again, we go to the square, ramp up. So we have it something like that. And we need some randomness, so random order on. And I'd like to have a little hole inside of here. And first of all, I bring off the position a bit more. And the next is I play with the random seed and scrub through until I have a position of the letters I like. This looks fine, so I have a hole here to come with the camera animation from, and I have all the animation here going on. And as you see the difference from the easy ease between these N and the H, for example. If I play this, you see this is coming smooth, and this is just straight up and down. So again, here to the easy ease things in the things letters, 50% and 50%, and now everything is going smoothly. Here we go. This is exactly how we like to have it. Okay, so the next is we have to pre-compose all of these two layers. So select both of the text layers, hit layer, pre-compose, and type in text. remove all attributes, hit OK, and we're ready to make this glowing thing. So if you simply apply a glow to this layer, I will showcase you that. I go to my text. First of all is I tint that. Here we go, and I tint the white to red. This is what it looks like so far. And if I put a glow on that, you will see we have a little issue because everything is glowing at the same time. And if you remember the original title from Stranger Things, you will see you have different lighting situations around the text. Okay, so here's some highlights, here's some highlights, and here's some dark areas. So it has a cool pattern, and we like to achieve that. And for that, we have 3 ways to do. 2 of them are without any third parties, and 1 is with our plugin Platoon. I will showcase you all 3 options to do so. So one is to achieve that you just import a black and white image, which could be a dirt map or a grungy map, something that looks like this. Okay, you can use any image. You can download that on Google or on your favorite footage supplier. For example, if you're on Google CC Cloud, just go to Adobe Stock and type in grunge, and you will find a lot of grunge backgrounds. There could be also colorized backgrounds. You just make sure you change them before in Photoshop or whatever into black and white images. Okay, so you can use any map you like to and put that into your composition. Next is we changed the text transfer mode from none to Luma. And this gives you this little pattern here. You see some highlights and some black and white things. If you do an Luma inverted map, you will see the opposite. And this looks very cool. And what you can do to get these hard edges, you can simply apply a Gaussian blur on the grunge. Let's do so. Gaussian blur. And bring this up. And you will see the hard edges are going away, and you see you can control the highlights of the text. Okay. So there are a few highlights here, and of course you can do blurring, something like that, and of course you can increase the size, so you scale it up, and you see now we're coming closer to the original. And now you can put on the text layer your glow and bring down the threshold, and you will see you can start sculpting your highlights here in these areas. You can offset your grunge map, position that so until it fits to your needs. So here we go, you have some highlights here, and you can play with this setting. So this is option 1. Option 2 is if you don't like to use a map, you can use a layer, a new solid. We call that grunge, for example. Make it comp size, black, and hit OK. And you apply a turbulence. Not turbulence, and turbulent noise on it. This is how it starts. You can choose some different presets. I like, let's say, the cloudy one. Bring up the contrast a little bit and the brightness, so that we got some black and white image going on there. Bring the brightness down and the contrast up. Here we go. That looks quite cool. So remember, anything which is white stays, anything which is black is cut out. So we have to push that a bit here, scale that, something like so. And let's see what we get. This is what we have so far. It's again to Luma inverted. If you change it to Luma, you will see the opposite. So Luma inverted, and this is how it looks like. And then again, put on the glow. Here we go. And you see nice patterns, which looks very similar, very close to the original Stranger Things image. And now let's go and animate. No, sorry. The last option to do this is let's simply put that here. The last option is bring on Platoon, which is a texturizing plugin, and simply put that on the text layer, and it automatically starts texturizing your text. We bring this before the tint and the glow, and this is how it looks so far. If you click on this little icon here, you have your own bitmap library, and you can arrange and import all of your bitmaps, and they will stay always inside of Platoon. If you like to know more about Platoon, you can go to aascripts.com, and here you see /Platoon, and this is what the plugin will do. I don't like to sell that for now. I just want to showcase you the option. So it's not a sales tutorial, it's just a Stranger Things tutorial. So I go to my grunge. Here I have my grunge patterns, and I can switch between them, and you see I can easily change the look and feel of that. Okay, so that looks quite cool. I can of course blur this inside the plugin, and I of course can scale that, and yeah, that looks quite cool. I like this style. Scale a little bit down. Let me offset that a few things, like a bit like so. Yeah, that's pretty close. And let's take care about the glow. Normally, if you use one glow, it looks like this. Okay, but we like to have some more glow. So it's quite handy to put more than one glow on a layer to get a very smooth and realistic glow. So I duplicate by string D this glow. And first of all is I bring up the threshold. And next is I play with the radius. So here we go. And the last thing is I can play with the glow intense. So I can bring this a little bit down, so it's too much highlighted here in this area. So bring this down to, let's say, 0.4, something like that, and even crank up the radius a little bit. That looks fine. And the threshold a bit down. Something like that looks fine. And let's test what happens if we do another copy of the glow. Here we go, and bring all the radius up to something like 600 or so. And the threshold also up. And even more here. Okay. It looks not the way I like it to be looked, but we can achieve that here. We bring the threshold a bit up. And the glow radius a bit down. Oh, sorry, a bit up. Here we go. And the first glow instance, again, the threshold a bit up. That helps me get rid of all these overblown highlights, because it's the first instance. And that looks quite cool. Let's do the camera animation. For that, this is how it looks so far. Here we go. So let's add a camera. Go to Layer, New Camera. Let's do a 35mm and hit OK. OK. And turn your text layer into a 3D layer. OK. So next is go to 4 seconds. This is where the camera position ends. OK. And go to the camera, transform, and go to the position, hit the stopwatch, and then go all the way to frame 1. and grab this little tool here. If you put on this icon, you see the camera, the orbit, track, and track Z camera tool. We need the track Z camera tool and fly into that, something like so. Perfect. Now let's grab the XY tool and bring it a little bit down so that we fly through these letters. Okay. And select both of the keyframes and hit F9. And here we go. And as you notice, if we're using Platoon, everything of the highlights are staying in place. This is because of the Platoon plugin on the 3D layer. If you do this with a layer or a texture, let's go to here again and let's just disable the Platoon and set that to Luma inverted grunge. You will see that first of all I have to switch off all of these glows. So here we go, let's put glow 2, that should make it, yeah. And if you now scrub, you will see that the highlights not staying in place. So we have the highlights here on the T, and if we dive into that, you see that the highlights going up to here. So this is because the layer is not locked in 3D space to the text layer. So to avoid that, go to frame 1 and lock this layer in position to the text layer with this pick width tool here, and now everything stays as it should be. Okay, so this is to make sure that your design stays in place as you play with the settings in the final image. Okay, so make sure if you don't use Platoon to link the grunge layer to the text layer so that everything stays in place. Okay, and of course make it a 3D layer, otherwise it won't work. Okay, here we go. Now everything stays in place. Okay, so I switched this back to before. So now it's time for these borders on the top. For that we simply use a shape layer. First make sure you don't have anything selected here, then use the shape layer tool and just draw a shape, something like that. That looks quite easy. Cool. Make sure you have a stroke with 1 pixel and a no fill. If you click on this fill, you have the option here to fill solid color, linear gradient, and the radial gradient. We don't like the fill. Hit OK, and this is what it looks so far. We have this outline here. Next thing is make sure that the shape layer's stroke color is not blue, but white. Okay. And the next thing is make sure if you select the shape layer, you will see the offset point is here. We need that offset point in the center of the shape layer. For that you can grab this tool here, the pan behind anchor point tool, and just bring the anchor point just to the center of your shape layer. Okay, and now we can animate that. So this is where everything is staying in place regarding the letters, and it means 1 second before we start to animate this this box here. So we'd like the box to be finished after 5 seconds. So I go to my transform settings and hit the position and hit the scale stopwatch and go all the way to 3 seconds. And I just hit this connect button and bring the scale down to 0 so you won't see anything. Here we go, 0. And again, I will select both of these. And switch the solo mode off. So this is what we have now. Stranger Things. Next is we'd like to cam this with the camera movement, because here we have still camera movement and nothing's happened here because this is not a 3D layer. So we make this a 3D layer and it fits perfectly to our text. Here we go, it stays in place. And this is exactly what we like to have. Okay. Next is I duplicate this layer, string D on the keyboard, and I bring this down to something like here. And I go to the scale option. On the last keyframe, I bring, hold on. I bring the scale option down to something like here so that it fits to this letter here and this letter here. Okay, maybe let's move it a little bit to the left. Here we go. So this is how it looks so far. Okay. And you have two options. You can position this to the left and to the right, or you can draw a mask, which is the quick and dirty solution. I will put that on here. Let's say on here. I will bring the anchor point of this all the way to the right side, because I want the scaling from this position, and I go to my scale and bring this down. Here we go. Until it fits here. So now what we have is this little thing here. Next is I can duplicate simply the shape layer, string D on the keyboard, go to my normal tool, bring this all the way to the other side, to here, and bring the offset point from the left to the right side, because I'd like to have the scaling from left to right. So take the anchor point, bring it to the right side, and that's mainly it. Now it should be scaled from left to right. Here we go. Let's have a look at the final image. So here we go. This is how it looks so far. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, and important thing in these times is stay healthy, have a good time, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye.